The pay scale, well, your Screen Actors Guild contract is your base, whatever it is, and then you're adjusted for the difficulty at the end of the day by the coordinator. I'll give you 200 above your contract for the day, or whatever it entailed. There's one time when I worked for Hal Needham on a show called, it was the pilot for The Magician with Bill Bixby. And I get a call from Teddy's saying, oh, you got to get ready, Needham needs you in Michigan, Lake Michigan. We're going to do I said, what am I going to do? And they said, well, I think it's a transfer. You're going to transfer from a speedboat to an airplane. Okay, that means you got to give 150%, you know. So I get on the plane, I go to Michigan, I get to the set the next day, and I get in costume, I go down to the dock where the plane is and the boat is. It's a pontoon, a boat with plane with pontoons. And I see Hal down the way, and I wave at him, and then I happen to see the airplane, and I see ice on the pontoon. It's like this. And I said, well, we're going to, in my mind, I was saying, we're going to transfer from the boat to the pontoon, and there's that much ice on the pontoon. And so I meet Hal, and they had to hire local help. So it was a local boat driver and a local airplane man. That's always difficult, because they don't know what's going on. They just know they're supposed to do this and that. But anyway, I mentioned to Hal, I said, I hope they get that ice off that pontoon. And he looked at it, he said, oh, yeah, and he'd call over special effects. He said, get the ice off the pontoon, get some corrugated rubber on there if there's none. So they did. And the first day we went out was, the lake was smooth as glass. Cold, in the middle of winter, January, I guess it was. And it was smooth. And we're in the speedboat. And he said, tells the boat driver, he says, you can't be under 80 miles an hour. You got to be over 80 miles an hour. Do not drop below 80. The plane can't come in, blah, blah, blah. And eyes on this boat driver says, I don't think he'd ever gone 80 miles an hour in a boat. But anyway, he did, and we got up to speed, and then here comes the airplane coming down right up next to the boat for us to transfer. He goes first. He'd had an extra strut put on the airplane so that he could grab that when he transferred, and then he reaches back to grab my hand and pull me over. And now, if we'd have gone in the drink, that means we've cost a lot of time. We got to go back. We got to get dry. We got to, and then blah, blah, blah. So these are one-take things. And so we did it, and cold, oh God, I don't know how we got into the plane. Our hands were just locked off. But we did it, and we were both happy, and they kept us for the next day to see the footage to make sure they got it. First time I ever saw Hal Needham go berserk. He went berserk. He saw the footage. He says, where's the stunt? He says, where's the other camera? And the guys, I said, oh, well, because you never saw us transfer. You just saw the side shot of going along. You never saw our stuff transferring, the difficulty of it. And so we got to do it again. He said, production guy says, well, I don't think we can. He says, get me another lake. We'll go do it tomorrow. And now the wind is coming up and the weather's getting bad. We go back out. He said, give me another boat with a camera in it to be in our wake of our boat so that they see the transfer, the actual transfer. So they get that. But now because the lake is choppy, the boat and the plane are doing this, and making that transfer at the right time. Again, that's a one take. You only want to do it once. And at one point when we were doing that, I saw that had I not pulled Hal back by his collar, I had reached up because now the plane is coming back this way. His head would have been taken off by the propeller. So I yanked him back, and I said, I didn't want to do that, Hal. I'm sorry. He says, you shouldn't see how close your head was to that prop, the propeller. And he knew the difficulty with the boat and the plane going like this and this. So anyway, we got our speed, and the boat driver is even more concerned now. But we got the shot. And again, get the plane, we can hardly move our hands. We got the shot. And anyway, we go back, and he said, told production, well, we saw the footage, and it was okay. You saw the transfer. And he said, pay the lady $1,000. Wow, that was the most money I'd ever gotten on an adjustment, a $1,000 adjustment. But again, it's a one-take thing, you know. There's so many, if you can become a one-take artist in our business, that's what you want to do. You don't want to do it more than once, if you can help it. And that's, in fact, in the beginning of my career, when I'd work with just a director, I would say, I would block it with him. I would do it a slow-mo, and I would ask him, I said, would you mind if we shot the rehearsal, the first rehearsal, because that's usually your most spontaneous take? And he said, no, not at all. So I would do that, and they liked it so much that I just kept with that. Do you mind shooting the rehearsal? And they say no, because it is your most spontaneous take. And then I would say, well, do you want to see it again? And they say, no, it was fine, we got it. So again, you become a one-take artist as quick as you can.